What's going on, guys? I'm back with another edition of Boss Status. So, what are we going to talk about today? I've been getting a lot of DMs on Instagram. A lot of young guys they're sending me messages and they're talking to me about, here's my current situation. You know, I'm in the police academy, but I love fitness, or I'm doing this, I'm working in the corporate world and I love fitness, and or I love fitness, but I don't like this aspect. You know, what should I do with my life? And to be honest with you, if you send me that DM, I usually just send you my telephone number and we just have a conversation because it's a lot easier. So actually, don't send me too many DMs, but because I might get a lot now. But anyways, so I've had a lot of conversations with these people, and at the end of the day, the big question is, what is my calling? You know, what am I supposed to do here on earth? And this is a perfect time for this because two gyms in my life, J-I-M in my life, have kind of taught me the same thing but through different pathways. And what I mean by that is Jim Bauckham, who is the pastor at my church right now, is talking about what is God's calling for you. And so how he describes it is, it's actually very simple. It's where you have ability, where you have affinity, and where you have opportunity. So for example, you might love basketball, but you might not. You might be 5'5" and can't jump. So obviously, being an NBA player is out of it. Or you might be in a position where you don't necessarily have the opportunity to progress and make a career at that. So you really need to look at your life and look at those things. Again, where do you have ability? What are your God-given talents? Where's your affinity? Where's your passion? What makes you get out of bed in the morning? And then also, where is there an opportunity where you can actually earn a living at this? And so it's really interesting because this was just last week in a sermon that I heard. I heard that from a very spiritual man. And then in the secular world, my secular Bible comes from a book by Jim Collins. You might have read. It's called Good to Great. We actually use that as kind of literally like our secular Bible for our chain of retail stores. It's a phenomenal book. I highly recommend you read it if you haven't. And in that book, they talk about what takes a good company to a great company. And one of the big things they hit on is the hedgehog concept. Great companies have a very defined hedgehog concept, otherwise a calling. And how they describe it, how Jim Collins describes it in that book, is amazingly exactly the same. It is what you're passionate about, where you can make money, and what you can be best at the world in. And so that goes to what you can be best at the world in. That is your ability, your passion, that's your affinity, and opportunity is what you can make money at. So at the end of the day, those are really the three things that you need to look at. Now, that really, if you put it that way, it breaks things down pretty simple. It can be definitely more complex than that. But if you're really struggling and kind of figuring out what is your calling and what you should be doing, remember those things. It's your ability, your affinity, and the opportunity that surrounds you. And at the end of the day, the most important thing, you have to crush it.